Truth Unveiled here, and today I have some important information to go over with you. I'm going to be talking about all of the technical glitches that have been going on this past week, as well as let you know the bigger agenda behind them and why they are happening with so many companies, especially at such a time as this. Now, I'm here at Zero Hedge, and it says Deutsche Bank ATM block cash withdrawal due to technical glitches. And I've done a video on this a couple of months ago about all of the banking glitches that have been going on with banks and whatnot, and I'm going to tell you some more that are going on and why this is the case, because whether you know it or not, but this is how they are preparing for the big shutdown and the EMP, so to speak. But it says, and it goes on to say, and what appears to be a widespread problem, Germany Spiegel reports that customers are unable to withdraw cash from Deutsche Bank ATMs due to what they call a technical glitch. And this comes from Google Translate. A German bank spokeswoman declined to comment on the problem first, but the bank finally conceded a technical glitch in online banking, which you can see here. The deposits and withdrawals were partially displayed twice or not ready, the bank said. None of these statements twice shown has taken place, it says in the statements, and even customers who reported from this bank could not withdraw their money from the banks. Wow, just like an EMP, if you can't access money in the banks, you're going to see that Deutsche Bank is not the only one that just so happens to be going through this problem within this past year. What is really going on? Now, it's no surprise that Starbucks also faced a technical glitch in Europe, and this was reported back on Friday, June the 3rd. And I'm going to tell you why it's so important that all of this is occurring on a Friday. Because what you're about to see is that it all relates to the same agenda. And this happened in the United Kingdom, by the way, but it says coffee giant Starbucks is in hot water with customers after a technical glitch charged them up to £150 for their drinks months after they bought them. It says technical glitch charged customers months after they bought the drinks. Hundreds of pounds have been taken out of customers' bank accounts. What? But not only that, delayed payments across the country have left some people overdrawn. And notice how they're testing it and starting in Europe of all places, just like with what? The whole immigration and the Syrian refugees before they finally bring it to America. It's one great big test. And it says a technical glitch at Starbucks has charged some customers up to £150 months after they purchased their beverages. Customers around the UK found large sums of money withdrawn from their bank accounts after card payments were delayed. Now, many have been left furious after they were left overdrawn in the bank following the technical issue. And I know many people worldwide have been having sudden bank problems and problems withdrawing their money, problems getting their money out of the banks. A bank glitch is here, bank glitch is there. Why do you think we're all of a sudden seeing all of these banking glitches, and why do you think they're all on a Friday is the better question. Because these companies are arming themselves for the worst. And you're going to see exactly what I mean. But I'm here at CNBC, which also reported this back on Friday. But it says Apple services fully restored after going offline for as much as 7 hours. Is it a coincidence that a big bank like Deutsche Bank in Germany and Starbucks in Europe and now Apple all experiencing glitches and whatnot? You're going to see another company has been experiencing glitches and technical glitches as well. Is it all a coincidence and the fact that it's happening at the same time? I don't think so. But it goes on to say that Apple services have been restored after an outage on Thursday in the US that affected the App Store and some functions on iCloud. Some of iCloud services came back online around 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time, while the store was back online around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. All services had resumed by 11:55 p.m. Eastern Time, according to Reuters. The outage began between 3 and 4 p.m. when services like Apple TV, Find My iPhone, MailDrop, and iTunes in the cloud were also unavailable for some users, according to Apple's support website, which tracks system issues. And Apple's not the only company. We've also been seeing other companies that have been experiencing technical glitches and glitches here and there. And my question is, why are all of these companies all of a sudden facing the same sort of issues, which they cannot even explain for, according to them? And notice how it's on Thursday, so right before Friday. Like I said, there's something bigger going on. Now, Straits Times also talks about the glitch that was experienced at Apple, but what I find very interesting and suspicious indeed is when it says an array of Apple services, including the App Store and Apple TV, were knocked offline for several hours on Thursday, June 2nd, due to an unexplained technical glitch. Now, can somebody please explain to me how can this be an unexplained technical glitch with a big giant company such as Apple TV? Surely they must know what the technical glitch is. Surely they have to know what's causing the problem, unless they're the ones causing the problem to begin with, and you're going to see what I'm talking about. Oh no, but it's not just Apple and it's not just Starbucks and it's not just Deutsche Bank, because I'm here at Fox News and it talks about what Cricket Wireless and how it says temporary Cricket Wireless outage affects customers across the country. And this was posted as well on Friday. What are they getting ready for? But it says Cricket Wireless tweeted that service has been fully restored, but users may need to turn their devices off and back on again. And it says, of course, they sincerely apologize for the convenience, and this is what their Twitter posted. But it goes on to say that some customers of one wireless company are hearing nothing but crickets Friday evening. Oh, interesting. Cricket Wireless users across the nation took to social media to report issues with voice and data services. The company tweeted that they are working on the problem, but says there is no time frame for a fix. Now, this is the actual map that says the website Down Detector, which tracks outages and down websites, showed the affected areas as of 7 p.m. Pacific time. The website also reported a large spike in recent outage reports from consumers. And you can see, according to the map right here, Cricket Wireless outage map courtesy of Down Detector, you can see all of the outages that took place. Now, pay very close attention to this map, because when you look at this map in detail, you start to see and notice something very disturbing indeed. And what is that something that's very disturbing? Well, first of all, many of the outages that occur in big cities, like such as the East Coast. Not only that, but we see also big cities in Florida, such as Miami, possibly Orlando, Sarasota, that area. We also see, of course, Chicago, Detroit over here, and we see some areas over there as well. And we also see the South in areas such as Texas too, with like Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, those areas. But then we see Denver too, Salt Lake City, and we see Oregon and Washington affected. We also see Phoenix right here, Las Vegas, and we also see California with San Francisco and the Los Angeles, San Diego regions as well. Very interesting. And of course, that's because many people live in the city, so that's where, of course, you're going to see the bulk of the problems. But it's just very interesting that you would see a bulk of these problems in cities, the same places that they're looking to declare martial law and lock down the cities. Is it starting to make sense? I hope so. Now, these are the cities that was affected according to the Fox report. As you can see, cities include Houston, Phoenix, Chicago, San Antonio, Denver, Mountain View, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Portland, according to Down Detector. On its website, Cricket Wireless says it covers 317 million people with its no contract services. Cricket operates using AT&T cell towers, but AT&T customers have not been reporting the same level of outages. Many Cricket Wireless customers took to Twitter Friday evening to complain. You can see the complaints if you would like to. Why am I even talking about this? Why am I bringing this up? And why have I left cell towers highlighted? Because cell towers is what your government use in order to spy and surveil on you for what? Mind control. They know exactly what they're doing, and they also know how they're planning these Jade Helm and these UX drills to get ready to lock down America and lock down the nation and prepare for a staged EMP, which they're either going to blame it on so-called aliens, or they're going to blame it on what? Russia and China, in order to start and trigger World War III. How do I know this? Because mainstream media has been telling us this. If you watch the X-Files season 10 reference, you would have seen that it said it is likely to begin on Friday with an EMP. And this is the beginning blocks, how they're testing and staging said EMP. Now, it's also interesting because another video was done, and I'm going to link that video below, of the 72-hour warning before martial law that it's all going to start on a Friday. Well, they actually started on a Friday. It's looking like it because they've been testing everything on a Friday. Like I said, don't quote me on that, but always be ready and prepared ahead of time and see the bigger agenda. Because what's the agenda on Friday? They're going to make it so that the banks no longer work, or whatever day they choose, they're going to make it so that you can no longer get money out of the banks due to some so-called banking glitch or technical glitch, which we're seeing all over the place, to make it so that, so what, to get ready for the shutdown. And this is how these companies and the elite are getting ready for said shutdown. Why do you think that the Royal Bank of Scotland, which is one of the top 20 banks in the world, by the way, why do you think they came out with a report back in January that said, and I quote, sell everything? Why do you think that's the case? Because these big companies are getting ready and preparing themselves for the Zionist plan of the New World Order to shut everything down so that your phones no longer work, so that you can no longer get electricity, so that you can no longer go to the store and get food, so that there can be civil unrest in America, specifically to bring Venezuela in America. But like I said, it's not going to be some big event. It's not going to be some big boom. They're going to start it slowly but surely, and they're going to bring it and spread it like a virus, so to speak, just like they're spreading the threat of a so-called superbug, which I've also done a video for. But I hope you're seeing the bigger agenda, and if you just think it's these companies that have been experiencing so-called glitches that are unexplainable, even though these companies are huge, oh no, there's always more. Like I said, if you're looking to look for a collapse, or if you're looking to look for something big, always look out and watch for any type of glitches. The word glitch and the word banking glitch and technical glitches, those words should be some serious red flags. That is what you need to look out for when it comes to the collapse, and when it comes to companies and the elite preparing for disaster and preparing for martial law, because they're not telling you the bigger agenda as I am telling you. Why do you think they have all these bail-ins? Because they're getting ready to steal your money, and they've already started them in Europe. But I've gone over all of these reports back in February, and I'll link the video below of all of the different banking glitches that have been going on. And so we see it with the State Bank of India that occurred back in February, as well as HSBC. We saw that. We also see it with MP as well, with those banks too. But we also see it with banks such as Barclays, RBS, HSBCs. We see it all over the place. And like I said, the question is, why are we seeing all of these banking glitches all of a sudden with these big banks? We've never really seen it before, and they never really reported before. Now all of a sudden, that's all we're seeing: a banking glitch here, a technical glitch there. Not to mention the fact that Anonymous is going after and targeting big companies and big banks. I wonder why that's the case. Like I said, what do you think they're getting ready for? The shutdown is imminent. It is even at the door. But like I said, what do they have to do? They have to test it out in strategic locations before they decide to shut it down altogether. And like I said, I've already reported on this, but I'll make sure to leave the link below so that you can see this more in detail, how they've been planning this stuff since February, folks. They've been planning this for a long, long time. So it's only a matter of time. But it's not just them, and it's not just banks in Europe as well that have been getting ready for this. It's also in the US as well, because I've gone over this, and it says glitches hit debit and credit cards for Wells Fargo, PNC, and SunTrust banks. And this was back in December. But look at what day that they suffered these technical glitches: on a Friday. Do you think that's a coincidence? It's time to wake up and pay attention to the world around you. But it's not just that, because I've also reported on the nationwide EBT shutdown test that happened and occurred back in October of 2013, because they're looking to cut off EBT. Yes, they're looking to cut off your benefits any single way, shape, or form that they can. And that alone is going to spark an unrest, and that alone is going to spark upheaval. But the question is, are you ready for these things to come and happen when they take place? See the warning signs ahead of time and see that it's not going to be a big boom. It's going to be slowly but surely. Please seek Yahuwah and his true son Yahusha so that you can be ready for these things to happen. Because like I said, it's all a big test. They're getting ready. And like I said, it's slowly but surely. But if you see it ahead of time, you'll know how to prepare. This is Truth Unveiled here, keeping you updated and saying shalom.